Imagine walking alone through the silent wilderness, the air cold and still, when suddenly you feel it. That tingle on the back of your neck. Something is watching you. Not a bear, not a wolf. This is quieter, faster, and far more elusive. Somewhere in the shadows, golden eyes are locked on you. The ghost of the mountains, the mountain lion, also known as the cougar, Puma, Panther. Depending on where you live, whatever the name, this is one of the most adaptable, mysterious predators in the world. But their story didn't start here in the forest. It began millions of years ago, in an ancient world long before humans had even learned to stand upright. If we travel back to the late Pliocene, around 2 million years ago, we find the mountain lion's ancestors roaming North and South America. Imagine sleek, long-limbed hunters with powerful tails and a body built for silence. These cats evolved from a lineage that had already perfected the art of stealth. Unlike lions or tigers, they didn't rely on brute force. Instead, they became masters of patience and sudden bursts of speed. The ultimate ambush artists. Over time, they spread across 2 continents, adapting to deserts, forests, swamps, and high mountain ranges. This adaptability is why their range today is the largest of any wildland mammal in the Western Hemisphere. From the Canadian Yukon to the southern tip of Chile, they've carved a place in almost every habitat. Physically, they re-not the largest cat, averaging 6 to 8 feet from nose to tail, but they are extraordinary athletes. They can leap upward more than 18 feet in a single bound and clear distances of up to 40 feet horizontally. Their muscles coil like springs, their paws land like whispers, and their amber eyes see perfectly in near darkness. They don't roar like lions, instead they chirp, whistle, and growl. And in the rare moments when they scream, that eerie, almost human-like cry, it's enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Long before the arrival of European settlers, indigenous peoples of the Americas had deep connections with the mountain lion. Some revered it as a symbol of strength and leadership. Others saw it as a spirit guide, representing courage and independence. In certain myths, the cougar was a guardian of the land, but in others it was a feared trickster, capable of outsmarting even the most skilled hunters. These cultural stories shaped human attitudes for centuries, a mix of awe, respect, and fear. Then came colonization, and fear became the dominant theme. As settlers expanded westward, mountain lions were seen as threats to livestock and human safety. Bounties were placed on their heads. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, governments across North America encouraged the mass killing of cougars. Hunters, trappers, and ranchers drove them out of vast parts of their historic range. In some areas, they were almost completely eradicated. Yet the cougar's resilience is legendary. Despite decades of persecution, they survived in the most rugged, remote corners of the wilderness. Over time, shifting public opinion and new scientific understanding began to change their fate. By the mid-20th century, conservation efforts and legal protections slowly allowed populations to recover in parts of their range. But humans weren't just keeping them in the wild, some were putting them behind bars. Cougars became exotic pets for the wealthy or attractions in roadside zoos. The problem? A wild cougar doesn't become tame in a cage. Many suffered neglect, poor diets, and cramped conditions, a tragic contrast to the freedom of the mountains. In the modern era, mountain lions face challenges that even their ancient adaptability struggles to overcome. Habitat loss is at the top of the list. As cities expand and highways carve through wilderness, cougar territories are fractured into dangerous, isolated pockets. A male mountain lion might need over 100 square miles of territory to thrive, but when that S sliced up by concrete and traffic, survival becomes a dangerous game of crossing roads and avoiding humans. In California, for example, researchers found that mountain lions in the Santa Monica Mountains are so genetically isolated by freeways that they risk inbreeding themselves into extinction within decades. Conflicts with humans haven't disappeared either. Encounters are increasing as people move deeper into cougar territory. Sometimes these end peacefully, with the cat slinking away, unseen. Other times, fear or misunderstanding leads to deadly outcomes. And while attacks on humans are extremely rare, they grab headlines, fueling old myths that paint these cats as relentless manhunters. Then there's climate change. As temperatures rise and ecosystems shift, deer, the cougar's primary prey, may move to new areas, forcing cougars to adapt yet again. In some places, droughts reduce water sources and prey availability, pushing these cats closer to human settlements in search of food. Diseases, too, play a growing role. In Florida, the subspecies known as the Florida Panther faces threats from feline leukemia virus, vehicle collisions, and shrinking habitat, a triple blow that has left them critically endangered. All of this paints a complicated picture. On one hand, mountain lions are among the most adaptable predators on Earth. On the other, they're vulnerable to the very forces humans have unleashed: habitat destruction, fragmentation, climate disruption, and fear-driven persecution. It's like we're playing a game of chess with nature, but the opponent is an animal that doesn't even know the rules have changed. And yet, it keeps trying to win. Maybe that's what makes the cougar's story so compelling. They are living proof that survival isn't always about size or strength. Sometimes it's about patience, stealth, and knowing when to disappear. They remind us that the wild still exists, even if it's hidden just beyond the edges of our suburbs. And perhaps, here is the ironic twist: the very traits that make them so feared by humans are the same ones that have allowed them to live alongside us for thousands of years without most of us even knowing. So, what does this say about us? If we can coexist with an apex predator that can leap onto a deer back in the blink of an eye, maybe there's hope for balancing human ambition with the needs of the natural world. Or maybe, and here is the humor creeping in, it just means we should stop leaving our pet goats unattended in cougar country. But seriously, the fate of the mountain lion is in our hands. Protecting large, connected habitats, building wildlife crossings over highways, and supporting science-based conservation policies can ensure that future generations will share the land with this incredible cat. And that's worth fighting for. Because somewhere out there, under a canopy of stars, a cougar is padding silently through the shadows, the same way its ancestors did millions of years ago. And if we're lucky, it always will. If you've enjoyed this journey into the world of the mountain lion, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories of our planet's wild and wonderful creatures. Together, we can make sure that the ghost of the mountains never fades into memory.